Just a little added flair there, you know.
Listen, man, go back to it. The video is going to be more entertaining than we are.
Just added a little flair. That's my drone videos from Friday night. I was messing around with it. Pretty cool. And plus I figured out how to edit and do video editing and stuff like that. So
listen,
doing big things.
You need to work on your video skills, dude. I was watching that race there from Saturday.
Listen, I could fly the hell out of a drone. I'm not too good on a video camera.
Yeah. So what's up, Facebook world, and everybody out there who's still watching us? And it's been a couple of weeks since I've been on, and Gary's been doing an amazing job. Big shout out to Rick Ryder. Dude, I mean, you know, guy's one of the best in the business. Been doing it, Christ, probably almost as long as I've been alive. And the interviews and stuff have been amazing with the Accord Speedway, everything else. Listen, we got to thank, where's he at? Nate, right? Nate Stevens?
Yep.
Okay. Him and I have been hanging out the past couple of weeks, actually. Dude, great guy. If you do not have the Unruly Race, September 12th, on your calendar, you need to do it. This is going to be an awesome event. This guy he's a character, you know, and dude, absolutely great guy. ABC Designs, Andy Crane, all them guys, everything they do for us. Who else, man? Mikey Travers Memorial, dude, probably one of the biggest races for street stocks that Orange County Fair Speedway has ever seen. Dude, we had over $9 grand
it's amazing.
on the line.
Amazing.
Awesome. Great race. A lot of respect shown out there. We're not going to discuss how I did. It was a little embarrassing, but it is what
it's all right. First time back in a while. We'll give you that, Bess.
You know, so
it's okay.
But listen, thank you to Brett Hearn and his entire staff, Doug Dilgarian, Jeff Bagata, everybody that that worked down in Orange County. That correct me if I'm wrong, Gary. That was probably the best I've ever seen that track when we Street Stalkers were just a headliner at the Speedway. The place was awesome. It really was.
Yeah, that's what we talked about before. Without the modifieds out there tearing it up, and you know, so it was a perfect track.
It really was. So thank you to Orange County Fair Speedway, and again Brett Hearn and all that stuff. Dude, I really appreciate the respect you guys showed us Saturday. It was awesome. 21 cars. That's a lot for us.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, man. So, what else has been going on? Dude, you're kind of blowing the show up here. Everybody's telling me great job, and I haven't done shit.
That's right. I carried the load. Don't worry. That's what I told you before. Just show up on Mondays. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So
I'll take care of the rest.
But dude, we got a really cool show here tonight. Oh yeah, there we go. Watch that.
There you go.
It does nothing. So we got a really cool show. I want to say that I had a hand in his nickname. I think Steve Pato started it, and he didn't like it, but for some reason, I really liked it. I like that almost that WWE effect when you say it. Showtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And dude, absolutely.
We have fun with it in the announcer's booth. I know that. Me and Rick, we always do.
Listen, even Kid Giddy Up, Anthony Parego, I started that, and I hear other announcers at other tracks doing it, and that's awesome. I'm like, hey, I said that, and everybody's like, wait, no, Timmy Pitt started that. It's like, all right, that's whatever. I know I did it. But so let's not waste any more time. I haven't run yet. I came home, I took a nap, I got some coffee, I made sure that I was going to be on time. I haven't been here in 2 weeks, but it's going to be great. So there's Nate popping in right now. Nick, man, we just, again, September 12th, Unruly Race. Big things coming out of this guy, man. Young promoter, and I'll tell you what, dude, he's a blast to hang around. And if I had a full head of hair, we might pass for brothers.
Yeah, we'll touch on some more stuff that he's got when it's over at the end there.
Dude, this is going to be amazing. So let's not wait any longer.
Hopefully, let's hope the audio issues, we're going to try to work around it. But
so we're going to try and do the best we can. I hope you guys can hear. It's going to be a little muffled at times, but go ahead and just turn it up. Listen, man, one of the coolest drivers out there. And listen, he's even got his nickname tattooed on him on the back of his arms. Yes, I saw it. I noticed stupid shit like that. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be – let's just bring him on. I believe he is third generation.
Yeah. Well, you have to ask him.
We're gonna find out.
You'll find out, won't
without further ado, modified racing superstar of the Accord Speedway coming off a feature win here from, I do believe, just less than a
Friday
week
night.
ago.
Yeah, yep. Friday night. And now the new points leader at Accord. We're only a few races to go. Yeah.
Okay.
So
right. Let's bring him on, ladies and gentlemen. Showtime, Danny Tyler.
That's a good introduction.
Right? He's like I'm waiting for you to come on like Rey Mysterio or one of them guys
with a mask on,
right? Yeah. So, Dan, thanks for joining us. Let's get right into it. Last Friday night, you picked up the feature win, the Accord Speedway, and you held off some of the hard chargers. Some of them guys, it's been a little tough for you this year.
Yeah, it was a good night. We had a very good run.
Perfect.
I started 12th and had to pass all the fast cars, and there were some good cars up there. And like I was saying before earlier, on the pole position is the fastest car the way the track's done. So to chase down a leader awesome is really big.
Yeah, so Gary is telling me now that after your win there Friday night, you guys have become the points leader up at the Accord Speedway. I know that you have championships there in the past, right? I think Sportsman, I'm not so sure, possibly Street Stock, Pure Stock?
The Pure Stock and then Sportsman, and I won a modified in 2017.
So you have won a modified championship up there before. Okay, so you're chasing your second championship. So the question is third generation driver, or are you fourth generation driver? I mean, the family's been around a long time.
So my dad and my grandfather raced. My great grandfather didn't race, but he owned a lot of cars. So third generation for racing, but my great grandmother won a race before. So so I mean,
your great grandmother,
uncles and cousins, and like it's third generation of mine, maybe, but like. Every family member, I feel like, has ran a race at Accord or other tracks.
Right. Now, has your family always been a mainstay at Accord Speedway? I mean, I know I see you get out on the road a little bit. You're a Penn Can, 5 Mile Point. A few years ago, I think you were running for Bill Pasquale down in Orange County. You guys Accord always been home for you guys?
Yeah, when Accord was open, that's where my family always went. When Accord was closed, they went to Makata Speedway for a while.
Okay.
They went there. Mostly, in Southern Tier every once in a while, but Accord's been the most, ran trucks for the family.
Yeah, and out of most of the tracks that you guys run, what's the one track you guys always prefer?
The Accord. I mean, it's most familiar track. If I didn't race Accord, I like 5 Mile, but I'm not too crazy about the ride home. It's really
I don't think anybody is. Anybody who lives up here really isn't crazy about the ride home. Yeah. So what was? I know that your families, you guys are huge into racing, but we've seen in other families, different generations and stuff. They're just not into being involved with racing. They want to go and they want to watch. When did you finally realize that this is what I'm going to do? This is what I what I mean. When did that hit for you? At a young age, or was it later on?
So I always knew that I wanted to race, but I didn't know when it was going to be my turn, because when I first started racing, 16, 17 years old maybe is when you would start. So I actually started at 13, and that was like really hard to do back then. I'm 31 now. The racing's changed. Now there's 9, 10-year-old kids out there, but being 13 years old was kind of like, I was the youngest guy up there. But once I got my first pure stock, I just I knew exactly. Once I drove it the first time, I said, man, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. Now, see, this is one of the guys here, Gary, that I have to admire, because he gets it. He understands what it is that guys like us go through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yourself, Steve Dodd, Tommy Meyer, just to name a few. You guys know that we're trying to take something 30, 40 years old and do something with it that's not supposed to happen. And you were able to do that. Do you think that your years, I mean, you didn't spend a whole lot of time, with the pure stocks, but do you think that, the racing that you did there, you were able to take that with you up through the ranks?
So I didn't know about flags and and how it really went, but you know, driving a car straight is a pure stock. When I run my modified, I'm straight as an arrow, and I always said, you know, that's because I got the old roots of driving straight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can make 3,100 pounds go around a track, hell, you can make 2,400 go, you know.
Right. Yep.
Facts.
Yeah. So the other big news too this year is you guys have switched chassis manufacturers, right?
That's what I was gonna say. The shirt, the
Yeah,
change.
listen, man, I'm watching the interviews, dude. I know what's going on. I'm on my game this week.
Okay, listen. Go ahead.
No, it's all you, bro. So you guys were running. What was that?
Tio.
Tio. Okay, and then you guys have switched over to Bicknell.
The Tios were good, but I was looking for the setup that I would go somewhere. The Bicknell, they give you a baseline and you can run it, and you can be competitive wherever you go. And to this day, I'm not really far off for what they gave me when I first rolled it out off the trailer.
Right.
And, you know, I like the feedback I do get from them. And, you know, the cars are just really basic, and that's what a part-time racer needs. We can't figure it out, so we need somebody kind of give us 80%, and we'll find the other 20.
Right. Now,
So you made the switch because the lack of performance? Is that why you made the switch, or was it just like a personal? I mean,
like inconsistency of the car throughout 30 laps. A year is something I should do, and you know, when you spend 40,000 and you're not winning, not even one race at your home track, you know, it just makes you kind of wonder what you're missing.
mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, it is what it is. They're good guys. You know, I would never talk bad about Tio. They always treated me really good, but for me as a driver, I was missing something, and you know, they're gonna find it and they're gonna win a lot more races. But where I am right now is where I'm gonna stay for a while.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Hopefully, they find it sooner than later because a lot of guys are switching over. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's just the technology is starting to catch up with everybody else, or that's why everybody else is kind of leaving Tio? I mean, so my next question to you is: are you on coils or are you on torsion arms?
They had something really good, and they kept trying to find something better, maybe, but they were going from a really basic car that was winning, and they just got so far away from that. I think if they got back the 2010 Tio and put coils on it, they'd probably be like, you know, 2012. Running the older Tio was still doing good, you know.
Yeah. So with now, even at Accord Speedway, it looks like Gary's kind of taking a little bit of the banking out. You know, not as much. I mean, there's still banking, but not as much as there was. Even up there, I mean, everybody kind of seemed to go over to coils when Middletown took their banking out. Do you think it's a better, easier to set up for you guys, or do you miss the old style? What do you think's different?
With the coils, it's nice because the car doesn't change throughout the race. A torsion bar, if it goes bad, the car sags. With a coil, it's more consistent. I think Accord, you can run either or. I haven't tried the torsion bars with a Bicknell, but I think I'd probably be just as competitive. But I like that you don't have to stare the car every week if you didn't want to, as long as you don't get banged up. I could try to race that car a few times, and now you throw it on the scales. Where torsion bar car, you know, you
yeah. So we're just waiting forever that noise is to stop.
Yeah, I don't. Is that up? Yeah, that's what.
Sounds like somebody's on a toilet.
Is that his? It's got to be his.
I'm not sure. Somebody running a motor? Sounds like a go-kart.
Yeah, that's weird.
They think it's the headphones. Kevin Bergman says I got gas. Yeah, it's headphones. Yeah. Are you able to hear us without those?
Yeah, maybe try to take them out and just use it straight through the phone without headphones. That might work. That's what I think it is too. I think it's headphones.
Okay, how's that now?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there we go. We'll just do away with those things.
Do you remember the scene from Blazing Saddles? Everyone Blazing Saddles? They're all eating the beans around the fire. Hey, boss, you want some beans? Hell no, smells like you more than had enough.
I kept hearing that the whole time. It driving me crazy, but I said, maybe it's just
me. So we can, okay, there we go. Yeah, now you're back.
Now we can actually hear. Yeah, that's, jeez.
Yeah, I got perfect now. So.
Yeah, listen, tell your wife that they worked awesome.
Yeah. She probably did it on purpose,
No, listen, man, that's on you. Listen, he said that. Shit.
Yeah.
Listen, that's why people tune in. You never know what the hell's going to happen.
You are stupid. So, let me ask that question again because I think I missed the last part, right? So you said you haven't tried the torsion arms with the Bic now. You've been running coils. Do you prefer the torsion arm or do you prefer the coil? Which do you prefer better? Which is better your like? I mean, obviously right now it's coils because you're winning.
So when I ran the TO, I hated the coils. With the Bic now, I haven't been on anything but coil springs, so it's working now. I don't think on the road you're gonna beat the guys with the torsion bar, but I think if you go to your home track, maybe a 5 mile 10-can Accord, you're gonna get by with it. But I don't know. I still think like the new technology, the way these cars are being built, and the way Freezy and Shepard and them guys go, I don't know. I've never seen a torsion bar in their car in the last 3 years, so I think it's probably the way to go with the coils.
Let me ask. I got to ask you. We talked off air about it. The $1 million question at Accord. I mean, everybody asked the same question. Obviously, it's a different Accord. The bottom and the top is totally different. We've had Danny Creedon. He discussed the difference, with the torsion on the bottom and the bar cars just holding up so much speed. Now, what do you think that if they took all the banking out of Accord and took it back to yesteryears, that would make the racing come back? Because, I mean, you race it every week. You see it. You got to see that it's a different racetrack. The racing is totally different there. I mean, this past week it's single file. When was the last time you seen Accord not racy in that manner? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the outside became so dominant. A bottom feeder, it's hard to get off the turn. The guy on the outside, as long as he kind of keeps it rolling, is fast. It's changed a lot. Like I've raced here since 2003. I only ran one race in 2003. I ran a full season from 2004 on. I was there before the inside walls were there. The track has changed so much, and if you don't, it's hard to remember it. But looking back at pictures, like that place was super flat. Yep. And when it was flat, you would have a guy maybe that wouldn't start on the pole would, a guy from the back would win.
Right.
So now what it's becoming is it's dusty and dirty on the bottom. It's really, really hard to pull off the bottom. Everybody's kind of lighting them up. On the outside, there's like a shelf. If you get too high, you kind of just go out and just stay out there,
Yeah.
So rolling through the center is rough on tires, but that's like the fastest spot.
Right.
And with my car, thankfully this year I can roll the bottom better than the other guys, but I'm still maybe a lane off the bottom.
Yeah,
so,
right.
I'm running the bottom, but I'm really not. But what's helping my car is I can roll under them, and once I kind of get next to them, I can, beat them into the next turn, going a little bit harder, slide up, or
that's what I say. I call the race. I see it every week, and that seems to be. I have never ever seen so many slide jobs in a dirt modified as I've seen at Accord Speedway this year.
Yeah,
I mean, you yourself, you put quite a few. Just this past week, you put some on. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's amazing the slide jobs that go on up there.
Yeah, I've got slide jobbed a few times. I might beat guys up if they do that. Too bad to me, but slide jobs are what it is like even. And it's almost a lot of contact because of the way the track is, because of it being a one lane, I'm not a rough guy, and I don't like rubbing people, but if you don't lean on somebody, you ain't gonna pass them. And if you don't get them when you can get them, you're not gonna get them. So, you know, sixes and sevens and eights, you're burning 3 tires off. You ain't gonna pay for your racing. So, you know, the racing's tough, and that's a lot of it is the surface is why, you know, you have a little bit of contact type of thing. But, you know, Gary works hard. He's a one guy operation. He's older. You know, I think he's given it the best he can. You know, that's for sure, definitely. What I would like to see is it not so hard on tires, because I just took over the point lead. I can't even find a 50 compound tire. Yeah. I called East Coast. I called Elias. I posted a post on Facebook. You know, I need a 50 for Friday, but I can't find one. So, you know, this is tough racing. You know, I don't really know what to expect. You know, I wore probably about 5 tires off Friday to run 2 features, but backward it's 5 miles, and there's a lot of tracks that are fighting the same problem. You know,
I think with everything that's going on, maybe just open up the tire rule for this year. I mean, it's such a struggle, and it's not just that; it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You know, the short track, Super Brett Deo. You know, these guys are canceling shows and stuff because of, you know, lack of tires. I mean, do you think that? I mean, I know Gary's an American racer guy, and do you think that racing would be any different if you were allowed to choose whatever you want? A Hoosier American racer.
So, like, the Hoosiers just aren't as fast. So when I went to Thunder Mountain, they had an open show, and a guy like Sean Walker is very fast there. He was like really off because he, I believe, ran Hoosiers against the guys running American racers. So the problem is if everybody switched to a Hoosier, you know, you wouldn't notice no difference. But if there's a guy that has, you know, a bunch of tires and he's on American racers, he's probably going to spank everybody, and it doesn't matter who it is. So, you know, it's a tough call. I don't know. I mean, maybe make the features a couple laps less, but then the guy that, you know, is second at 25 laps every week is going to complain. So then, you know, I don't really know what the answer is. I mean, there's 5 point races left. There's, you know, one bigger show at the end of the year. Hopefully, everybody has enough tires to finish the year. You know, I don't know, but hopefully I can find some myself. You know.
Yeah, I always found the Hoosiers to be a lot harder too.
Yes.
I mean, the American racers seem to come in a lot faster. The Hoosiers always seem to be harder, even, you know, in the same aspect.
Yeah, so like a 400 is probably like equivalent to a 50. We run 38s on the right front. So
right.
When you go to Middletown, like, you know, maybe they're on 300s now, but it used to be 400s on all 4 corners. So
right.
Even a 300 is still probably, you know, harder than a 48 combat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What do you prefer to race on? Do you prefer the American racers or over the Hoosiers?
I like American racers, but, you know, if I go to a show and we're all on Hoosiers, you know, I know how to adapt myself. But if I had to pick, you know, I'd run a worn-out American racer before I'd run a Hoosier.
Yeah, and it's funny because you see guys like big-name guys that they run on Hoosiers all the time. And you get them on American racers, and they'll flat out tell you that their American racer program is not right or opposite. American racer guy, they can't run on Hoosiers. Like, some guys just can't seem to adapt to that change. It's so weird.
Yeah, it is. And like the sail panels, you know, I ran both, you know, I ran quarter windows and sail panels, but same way with the sail panels. I seen, you know, Matt Shepard went to Honda, and he was the only car on quarter windows.
Yep.
So, you know, guys like what they like, and sometimes if something is working for you and you're looking for something to be a little bit faster, well, you know, sometimes a little bit faster puts you in left field somewhere, you know.
So do you think at Accord, I mean, Middletown, I'm going to say yes, the sail panel does make a difference over somebody who's not running one. Do you think at Accord that makes a difference?
So it tightens you up. So, you know, Accord, a lot of people seem to have a problem with not getting tight enough. I think it's the way you're whipping the car into the turn. Even when Brett Hearn ran there back, you know, 10 years ago, you know, he wouldn't run a lot of stagger. And this is when the cars were more, I call them traditional cars, you know, right side NR bars, torsion bars. And he'd only run, you know, 3 inches of stagger because he would always say to me, you know, you're whipping the car getting in, you know, if your car is really free, you know, you're not going to be, you know, any good for the remainder of the race. But I think a good car, sail panels or not, you probably would win, you know, off the Accord. The bigger tracks probably, you know, as well too. I mean,
so I would almost prefer the modified division to be on sail panels. only for the purpose of, as a racer, I could tell
the difference.
What the difference in division.
Even
the way that some of these kids are running now, and the sportsmen, I can't tell the difference between a sportsman, a 358, or a modified. You almost need some sort of characteristic trait that I can go, hey, that's a modified.
Yeah. Sportsman was nice because they used to run steel wheels, so you'd see black wheels on a car, and you'd know, that's an open sportsman.
Yeah.
But with myself, I go to a track, and some of these sportsmen, they sound better than my 358 or running judge. Like, damn. So it's hard to tell even off the noise sometimes. But for a spectator that never went to a race, I think making the modifieds look different than the sportsman class is a smart thing to do. If it's dirt racing, I know it is what it is. They keep the windows and stuff. But on an open racetrack, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk a little bit more about 2021, Dan. I mean, obviously you're calling Accord home every week. You just took over the Point League. What are some of the races that you're going to be hitting later this year, or where are you guys headed? You guys head on the road at all? Or?
Yeah. So we were going to a couple different races earlier in the season, but now if I can't get the race,
yeah, we saw Penn Can.
Yeah. so that was a whole mess in its own. And that was with the Tio car. That would have been the first win with it, but it just didn't happen. But I think I'm gonna probably go to 5 Mile Point maybe once or twice. And I don't have a lot of racing because I only have one car right now. Okay. But for me, I used to always go to every race I can go to, and sometimes it would hurt my at-home program. So for me, next year could be a whole different year. I'm maybe going to do something down in Middletown, if everything works out right. So, we'll see what happens. I think stay at Accord and if I'm doing good there and keep the momentum going.
Yeah. So with go ahead, Gary.
No, I say there's a question for you. If the money was right, would Danny ever try blacktop?
If somebody else's hot rod, I would.
I'm thinking maybe Josh Wilbur might be throwing out.
Yeah, might be throwing a hint out there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never raced blacktop before, but we have a junkyard. I've raced on dusty shale and potholes and through the woods, so I can probably adapt.
Listen, that was Bethel Motor Speedway 30 years ago, but it's gotten better now. I can remember going down the back stretch. It was 3 potholes and then you turned. But that place has gotten a lot better now. Yeah. So, obviously, so let's talk about your business there a little bit. Is that something that your dad had already started, or is that a family owned? I almost feel like, and forgive my ignorance, but I almost feel like it's something that you started, or at least you've advertised the hell out of it. Because I've even called you and went, hey, listen, man, I got stuff. You went, no, you're too far.
Yeah. My great grandfather ran a business out of here. Had thousands of junk cars, and then my grandfather, and my dad, and now me and my dad are doing it. And a lot of things have changed, so I'm trying to kind of modernize everything. And we're just a small operation. It's just me and my dad, and we're nowhere near what the other scrap yards are. Right. But being a small business, you don't have to make near as much as they are. So as long as we both living a good life, and we have enough money to do what we want to do, like racing and and filming the kids and having a good life. And but it's we mostly just buy junk cars. Other scrap yards buy coppers and grass. Our specialties are junk cars. I feel like the profit margin is a lot larger because there's not only are you getting paid for the weight of the car, there's a converter, there's batteries, there's wheels, there's good tires on them. So for us, we can buy a junk car and we can sell multiple things off of it right away to make a profit. Right. And where are you guys located at? So we're right in Cottikill. I'm about 10 minutes from the speedway. We have 50 acres, and the scrapyard is maybe 10 or 15 acres, and then we have a lot of family that live on the property that's separated from the scrapyard. So you guys have your own compound? Yeah, it's Tyler's Lane. So I live on 67 Tyler's Lane. Listen, ask Gary, my property. That's my plan. I plan on doing that. I plan to have my own little compound here. Yeah. My grandfather lives a stone throw away. My dad, that's awesome. A cousin and aunt. So growing up as a kid, my uncle
He owns Fast Eddie's Auto Wreckers in Monticello.
Yeah.
And I spent many summers up there. And to me, that was a museum.
Yeah.
You know, that was back, when he still had, you were still getting 60s and 70s cars coming in and stuff like that. And yeah, dude, I always wanted to be in that business just because I love cars. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but it's just, I love the family tradition. I love the family history that you guys have. It's almost like the rookies, the Greens, you guys fit right in there too, man,
Yeah.
with the Tylers. And again, I love the fact that now, whose idea was it to start you where you did? Because you're seeing a lot of kids now. I mean, they're jumping right into a small block at 14 years old.
Yeah.
So, being in a scrapyard, we had a backhoe, and a guy come down, and he was a welder, so he had a pure stock. It was like 87 Grand Prix, and this thing was beautiful. He, worked on it for like 2 years. He didn't even take the roof off to build the roll fleet. Like, this car was so beautiful, and he wanted this old rusty backhoe. And he said, "I'll trade you this car for the backhoe." And I was just coming of age, so I told my dad, I said, "I'm ready. What are you guys gonna do? You gonna sell it?" So my dad gave me a chance, and I rolled out on the speedway at 13, and a car passed me on the inside and passed me on the outside, and I said, "Holy shit, I'm not ready for this."
Yeah.
I missed qualifying because in 2003 there's like 35 pure stocks. So
Yeah.
unbelievable. So the next year, I got a third the first night, I got a second the second night, and then I flipped over. And at 14 years old, flipping over a car, scared to death out of me. But then it didn't take long before I learned how to keep on all fours and
Yeah, that was. My first time. I was 9 days old when I went to my first race at Accord Speedway. I actually grew up. We lived in Ellenville for a little while. My dad was an official up there for a few years. We lived on Queens Highway, right off of 209.
Yes.
So believe it or not, I actually went to school in Kerhonkson, kindergarten, and I think first grade I went to Napanock, which is across from the old prison. There's a little white building.
Yes.
Anyway, enough about me. But first time racing there was 2001, and man, you had to be on your game or you went home.
Yeah. It was like,
and we were still DOT tires.
yeah.
The dirt mound on the inside was still there because I remember Sharon Byrne stuffing me up on that.
Yeah.
And then I kind of was like, and she went, "Hey, welcome to Accord," kind of thing, and I was like, "Oh, all right, yeah." But it was a lot flatter. I mean, I don't know. You kind of miss those days.
Yeah. I know, because I raced so many different classes, and I appreciated that class because I had fun.
Yeah,
It's good when you're winning, but the problem is the highs don't come as much. And, there is a lot of lows, and I've been to a point where I've wanted to quit a million times. And if it wasn't for my great grandfather that was so dedicated in the racing, and so many people drove for him, if it wasn't to keep his name going, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But once you die off, if you don't mention somebody's name or if I didn't race, people would just forget. And this guy dedicated every dollar he ever made and every 3 seconds to racing.
Yeah.
Keeps the name going.
Yeah.
That's when I moved up. I raced street stock for a long time too, and then I made that jump to sportsman. It was like that was a whole different animal, man. That was a life changer almost, man.
The cars, when you first run them, you're like, holy, I've never seen nothing lean so much. I'm like,
my first impression when I went to Accord, hit that first corner. I thought I was flipping over. I thought
I was gonna fall in the seat.
Yeah,
I held the bar. I hit the bar like this.
That was my first impression. I'm like, oh shit,
It's definitely a big transition.
It is.
So with your great grandfather, that's your motivation to continue to race. I mean, because you've been in the game. You got to be. Let's see. You said so. 17, 18 years now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ran a full season in 04 was the first year. Once in 03, like I said before. So I've been almost 20 years. So
Damn.
Yeah, I'm 21 years in, and I've finally gotten to where I had a couple weeks. I'd take a step away. I really did. I kind of had to.
Yeah.
Just the weekly grind, and the kids and everything else too. But it got to where I wasn't having a good time.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun. And I'm going to drive a race car till I can't do it anymore. But other than your grandfather, what's the motivation to your great granddad? What's the motivation to keep you going at the track? I mean, are your kids involved with it?
Yeah, so they love the racing. I don't think my oldest Renee is gonna be a racer.
You said, yeah, the noise. Yeah, she ain't into it.
My youngest one, she really likes it, but if they don't race, it wouldn't bother me just because I missed out on a lot of racing. I didn't my senior prom. I didn't really hang out with a lot of friends, and I kind of just stayed to my circle. I worked on a race car at night, and I feel like I missed out on some things. But for me, the racing, I did good. I did good really young in the modifieds, and I think even though I had a lot of years of a rough patch, I think if I didn't do good, I would have quit. But I know I can win. I know I can beat guys, and I think to me, even if I'm going through a rough patch, I'm keep on plugging away because I'm if I never won, then maybe I would have quit. But I've done it, so it's I want to keep it going.
Yeah,
you definitely got it rolling this year. That's for sure. Accord. Was that the plan when you started? Was you going to go points racing all year? Was that your intent, or was it kind of like now I'm stuck in it?
So we ran one night with the TO, and so Accord got rained out a lot. So I ran once with the Bicknell I was going to run, and I ended up blowing up a motor. So we went back to the TO. I got wrecked. So it started off really crappy. I went to Georgetown, broke a rear end. His motor, rear end, it was just I was having a hard time. So once I got into the Bicknell, I first night out, I got second with it. So I was this is a good thing, but I'm way back. I just had one night, that's all it takes sometimes. And I kept running, and one night I was going for third with the Bicknell, and I spun myself out, and I ended up 8th. So besides that, I got 2 seconds, 2 wins, 2 or 3 thirds, and a 4th. So the night I got 8th with the Bicknell was my fault. I spun out running 3rd, but I've been top 3s and 4s every week with it. So the points wasn't never really even on the table, but now I just took over the point lead this week. To me, I've done it. It's bragging rights. It's not $100,000 to win the points. So it's not for the money. I would like to do it because it's another notch on your belt. But for me, I want to win races. At the end of the day, I think people remember a lot of the guys who win races.
Right.
Well, I was, that you just hit the nail on the head. That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. So I was talking to Ed Stevens Jr., and he even said, he goes, you look back in history and guys like Frankie Schneider and stuff, they don't have a whole lot of championships. What they had was wins. So do you consider yourself, me personally, I hate points racing. Hate it. It almost it almost is going to cost friendships. And to me it's not worth it. And that was one of the. I just kind of stepped back. Listen, I don't want to be involved with this.
Yeah.
So are you just do you consider yourself a points racer, or are you just one race at a time? Let's just do one race at a time.
The way I race, it seems like I'm very consistent. So that's kind of how I've won titles and in other classes in the modified class. But when I go to race, I want to win. So, I'm not. If I'm running 3rd, I get 3rd. But to me, the points it ain't gonna mean nothing until last night when it's over with.
Yep.
If I win them, great, and if I don't, whoever won it, congratulations to them. But if Fred Deo's Super Series, I'm leading the points right now, I'd be superstitious and I'd be ready to cut a finger off and win that kind of point series.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So if you want to win, anything is good. If you win a heat race or if I win warm-ups, I want to win. But
2014, I started keeping track of where I finished in the heat race, where I finished in the feature, how much money I made that night, and even now, we were chasing that first win at Bethel, and I had 3 heat wins, and I was I still can't finish. I can't win a goddamn feature, but it was still a win. You know what I mean? And it's that's. Now, other than Accord Speedway, what are some of the other places that you guys have won at? Where I think Pencan, right? You guys have won there.
Oh, so I got second to Billy Decker in 2011 on the lap race, and that was.
And who's that?
But I didn't. This year I almost won right to the last corner, but I've won 5 mile, the short track super national.
Okay. Yep.
2012. I won a big block feature at Middletown in 2017. And then I won a feature at Glen Ridge in 2010 or 2009. So that was my first modified one. And I got 15 modified wins active. So,
Okay.
you know, in the modified, I got 18 wins. Some people do that in a season, but other people it takes a lifetime.
Yeah. Listen, 21 years in, man. You know, I've run, you know, this class. I tried pro stocks, almost went bankrupt on that. But, you know, even after 21 years, you know, we're only 26 wins in, one championship, one series championship we got. Yeah, it's hard. And then I find the older you get, the harder it gets. You know.
Tough in any class. You know, it doesn't matter what you're running.
Out of all the places that you've raced, what's one of your favorite tracks?
So Middletown, I haven't raced a lot at, but it seems like for a bigger track, I don't have a lot of experience. It seems like I'm, you know, very fast, and I feel comfortable there. I like to run Middletown, so I mean I enjoy Middletown, but I do like the good short track. When we went to North Carolina, was it last year? I ended up getting fourth in the one big race that they had there. Friesen passed me for the podium position in the last corner, you know. But
son of a bitch.
That was cool. Tri-County it was called. The track itself was like the surface. It was awesome, but then the stands and pits were like 1980 architect, like this, you know how they explained it to you back in the day.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen it, but it was really like on the track. It was an awesome place. Like if you had 900 horsepower, you probably would want to bring it there.
Do you think that this is a debate my wife and I had the other night? I mean, you know, we look up at the stands at Orange County and there's like nobody. You know, same thing at Bethel. There's nobody. Do you think that dirt track racing around here is starting to die? What do you think is causing people not to come to the track anymore? So like, I mean, we're getting the cars. Listen, you put 10 cars on a racetrack, we're going to have a hell of a race, no matter what division you're in. But what do you think is the issue with fans not coming?
I think, you know, I hate to say it, I mean, but I see people all the time complaining about how much money it is. But to me, where do you go that you don't spend money and it's not expensive? So, you know, Middletown is a little expensive maybe if you bring your family there. I understand, you know, not everybody's got a lot of money that they can spend. So maybe it is a cost to get in, you know, that's hurting it. Or just, you know, back 15 years ago, everybody had a race car and everybody, you know, had open trailers. They drive around with a race car, and people, you know, had garages. You go to your buddy's garage and work on a race car. And even myself, all my friends raced and went to races, and now, you know, the circle is so much smaller. So I think everybody just found something else to do, and it seems like the racing is almost turning into like a NASCAR. You know, you have a big race, it's all big teams. There's not a lot of little guys. You know, our big Nell was over $40,000. Like, you know, and that's from a small race team to buy a car that costs that much. You know, it's unbelievable what the cost is. And, you know, even a tire now is $210 for one tire. You know, it's fuel $600.
Even for us, I mean, I think we're up to $140 for a tire.
Yeah.
But even if we go to some tracks where they do run a DOT tire, I mean, you know as well as I do, a brand new GT Avenger or Cooper Cobra still costs you $120.
Yeah.
You know, the cost of everything has gone up.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of, you know, with Orange County, because they're, you know, you can either go and enjoy the races. You have almost 3 options at that place. 4, you know, if you can go in the pits, you can go in the stands, you can go in the drive-in and sit in your car, or you can order it at home and watch it from home.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So like the live streaming, I've seen people saying that's what's killing the races, but you know they are making a profit off of it. And like my dad now, he live streams everything, and he wouldn't go to the races if not. So you know they are getting a piece of that. You know. If he didn't live stream it, he wouldn't go. So
that's it. Like me, like I mean, I've done that a few times. Live stream. I got 150 inch. I put it on the projector outside. Have some buddies over, drink beers, and watch racing. You know, where it costs you $25, and you're gonna have all my friends over. You know, and that's kind of what people look at too. You know what I mean?
So we did the same thing. I'm a huge late model fan, late model fan, and we ordered the Show Me 100. And I sat outside by my fire pit and watched it on the projector screen. Yeah. And I think it cost me $35.
Exactly. And you can have as many people as you want, you know.
And it seems like for some reason Middletown takes the biggest like criticism. You know, and I don't know. I've been to a lot of
but if you watch their live streams, it's almost like watching a NASCAR event.
Yeah, it's good stream.
Listen, was it last year, the year before, Eastern States, even for our race, I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. You know what I mean? You watch it on YouTube and all that other stuff, you know. And but just the coverage that they had, I thought was amazing. I really did.
I think that direction of the sport, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And what hurts too, I think, with these tracks, what drives me absolutely crazy, and I hate it, is you got one promotion doing this race on the same exact day as this promotion, and now me as a fan, I would rather do them both on separate days.
Yeah.
Then now I got to pick and choose which one I want to go to, or even you as a racer, you got to pick what track you want to run. It's not fair. I hate that.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Dan.
No, it's fine. You can go ahead.
So here's the thing. You got 3 tracks that are within an hour of each other. You have Bethel Motor Speedway, Accord Speedway, Orange County. Nothing, and I'm not bashing any one of these places. I love racing at all 3 of them.
Yeah.
We created a series, myself, Charlie Hotailing, Kyle Wright was another guy, Jay Smalley jumped in. We created a series for the street stock division to run, one race at all 3 tracks. Nothing infuriates me more when you have to spend $500 to change your car to go to a different track. It's 3 different tires. Yeah. It's that you can have this at Accord, but you can't have that at Bethel. You can have this in Middletown, but you can't have that at Accord.
The track's got.
I never understood why the 3 promoters never got together. Let's go out to lunch. What can we do to make things better and bring people to our track? You're going to get guys on Friday night that'll go run Middletown Saturday, or Friday night go run Bethel on Saturday. You know what I mean?
But then they'll sit home and say, "What the hell are we doing so wrong?"
Yeah, I don't understand why that never happened.
Yeah, I know that does. The cost of racing is really expensive for the racer. So I don't like, also, if I go to a track and they say, it's open tire. So then you race against one of the bigger guys, they have every tire they have. So it's like it can go both ways. And as a racer, you don't want to complain, but it's easy to complain because we're all trying to race and nobody can really afford it. Maybe some people can, but the average guy can't afford it. But we still do it. But it's a tough one because you're never going to please everybody. But there is 2 things I think everybody can agree on. That's one of them, like you said.
And I think everybody's got attitudes and egos. No, I really don't. Gary's a very approachable guy. He's I consider to be a good friend of mine. Mr. Larson, I don't really know him too well. You know what I mean? But I know even back in the day, Mike and Mike Gerda and Gary Palmer have talked at the car show. Even at Bethel Motor Speedway. Back when it was. Tracy Cherico, now it's George Van Arnsdale and everybody else. Man, you could have even kind of like a series like what we have.
Yeah.
You could have a series with your modified guys, and how intricate and how I think that it would be. I don't even know how to. You're going from a 5/8 mile to a quarter-mile dirt track, now an asphalt track. Kind of like a 3-race series for the modified division, and you're going to take guys out of their comfort zones, and you're going to, you know what I mean? You're going to make them squirm, but make it so that it's the same rules for all 3 races, same tire all 3 races, you know what I mean? And then just kind of work together.
Yeah, because what's tough now with the racing is, there's some tracks are spec head small blocks, some are open-ended. So I have an open-ended. I can't go to Middletown and race there.
Yeah.
I can't go to Saratoga. I can't go to Run Valley. I can't go to Grandview.
Yep.
So I have to run Southern Tier tracks, or I have to do the Deo stuff. But the only problem is to run like the Deo stuff, Stuart Freeze and the other guys, they got 4 or 5 engines to choose from, and every track has an engine that might work better. So it makes it tough in that sense because I would like to run at Middletown, but I don't have the right motor. Buy the right motor is $30,000, and then where else do you go with it? Or do you have multiple cars because you want to run this track or that track? So, the open engine combination is okay, but if you want to go 3 hours on a Saturday to Thunder Mountain, I like the track, but 3 hours in one direction, you can't get a crew to go there. So it's really it's a hard racing because if every track ran the same engine, it'd be easier. They ran the same tire, but there's so many different options, and every option is expensive.
Right.
You read my mind on that, because that was my next question. I was going to get your input and thoughts on that. You read my mind.
Yeah.
I'm all for these crate motors. For years and years, I ran a crate motor in the street stock, and then you could take that move to the pro stocks, and then from the pro stocks you go to the sportsman. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Then even if you wanted to, you could try it in the 358. I'm all for a crate motor, but it seemed like Tommy Meyer wins the Eastern States 200 with a small block crate motor, and now all of a sudden it's we can't use those.
Yeah. I don't know what.
Would you prefer a crate motor over an open motor? Do you think it would be more cost effective? What do you think?
I mean, I have the 2 open engines, so what you got is what you got. So depending on the cost, I mean, a spec-headed small block is $30,000. So if it was a crate deal, would it be like, say, the spec Sportsman? The problem is they only make 350 horse, so then they buy the lightest rear end they can buy. They buy the lightest train. So sometimes money, even though the motor is cheap, the guys have a car that's like so much. Even there's some spec sports probably just as good or better than the modifieds because they're trying to make up for less power. So I don't know what the answer is sometimes.
They have the W16 too, right? That's like a crate small block per se.
Yeah, that's what Meyer won with, right?
And then some guys say that it's underpowered, and then we've seen guys like Timmy Fuller and big name guys try it out and win big races in it. You know,
it's true. So I mean, they're definitely a lot cheaper. Another deal.
All right. So Danny, out of all the guys you race with week in and week out, or race with over the years, who's one of the guys that you really like to race with the most?
So when I ran a season with Brett Hearn up to Ackford, and that was pretty cool. I mean, that guy would start way in the back and he would get to the front, and I don't even think he'd even bend a scrub rail. So like I always that year I ran with him. I got second to him the one night, and I learned a lot, off of him. So that was pretty cool. And then growing up, Mike Rickey, Rich Rickey, them guys at Ackford, I learned a lot off them, and I always enjoyed racing against Pacetti. Andy, like he'd be like a mosquito on you if he couldn't get you, and like I beat Andy one night. Like I swear, like if he could have drove over the wall and get me, he would have. It was like he afterwards, he grabbed hold of me. We got mirrors in that car, like he's just a cool guy to race against because it's I enjoy racing. I enjoy the guys that don't take you out. They're gonna rub you, and it's a good race, whatever. It's third racing, but there's a lot of guys, and there's a lot that I don't like racing with as well. But.
Yeah. So,
we usually ask that question too, but guys are too inclined to answer that one.
Nobody answers it. All of a sudden, they got technical problems.
Yep.
So, let's talk about some of the sponsors you got here for 2021. Who else pay your bills, man?
Yeah, so I got CR Cadillac Recovery. They're a big help. Greg Kovalevsky is a good friend of my dad from Pennsylvania. He does construction and masonry work, and he's been an awesome help to us this year and giving us money for top threes, as an extra incentive. Gave us money in the beginning of the year. My dad, obviously, he owns the car this year. I've owned the cars from previous years, but I was really having a hard time keeping them going. So, me and my dad teamed up and we're using the business to pay for the racing, and I think that definitely helped this year. My grandfather's 75 years old. He goes to races every week. I appreciate that. My wife, my kids, and everybody. Bubba is a big guy that helps me. Steve, his name is. He's been helping me since day one. And, he's a huge role inside the garage. If I'm in the garage, he's in the garage, and if I'm not in the garage, he's still in the garage working.
I got a guy like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's hard to find, Like I went from a crew of maybe 15 guys to 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is trying to get people to the track. It's hard, really hard.
That's why I like Ackford. It's local. We actually leave here at 6 o'clock sometimes on the right night or the wrong night. We're only a couple minutes from there, so that's why I always thought if I could race Middletown would be a good thing. Only 45 minutes or 50 minutes from the house.
So, all right. So we've gotten to that point where I always like to ask the one question, and I think I'm starting to narrow it down because I've taken like 2 races off the thing. So, out of any race that you could possibly win before your career is over, other than the Daytona 500, and the Eastern States 200. What would be the one race you'd really like to win?
So I'd like to win a Deo Super Series race. I don't race a lot of them, and I've got a couple podium finishes. And the short track Super Nationals race I won wasn't a series race, so I'd like to win a Deo race. If it's at the dusty, dirty tracks that I run, it would be awesome. If it's at a track I don't run, it'd probably be even better. But on my list, and it's hard to do because I don't race them much. You know, so you can't win something that you're not there at. But if you can't go there 100%, you probably shouldn't go. So,
Yep. So, all right, man, Danny. Listen, dude, we could keep talking, but then I think my kids are gonna get mad. So, but listen, brother, we really appreciate you being on here. And listen, man, you're one of those guys too that you know, people know who you are no matter what racetrack you go to. But you know, if you know, one of my stupid ass always yells over to you, you always stop, wave, and you know, we have a chat for a minute or two, and I appreciate that, man.
But yeah, thank you, and I'm sorry about the static earbuds there.
That's all right. We got to figure it out. It worked well.
Listen, nothing was worse than Danny Creedon.
Oh, Creedon was a mess. Yeah.
Them headphones, but we got our lap back and we're
yeah. We actually had to have Creedon come back on again. His was so bad we had to bring him back on the following week. So.
Yeah. That happens, right?
Yeah, that's all right.
Danny, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining us. And dude, I was actually I haven't been on the show in 2 weeks. You know, my kids are doing hockey. You know how it goes, brother. You know,
you're busy.
Yeah. So you know, so it was really cool. I was really looking forward to this one, and I appreciate you, man. And thank you so much. And we'll definitely be talking to you before the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll, you know, we got 5 more point races, so we'll see what happens. And we got a big race at the end of the year, so hopefully if we get a couple more wins, you know, it'll be a good deal.
Yeah, man.
And I believe that, going back to conflicting dates, I believe that King of the Catskills race is on the same day as Deo's race and Super Dirt race, I believe, right?
Yeah, I don't really know. I know over the years, you got a lot of good guys that ran that race, and it seemed like the trend was kind of keeping it between like the Accord guys. But I won it in 2017, won the King of the Catskills. And then 2018, I ended up losing the lead with a couple laps to go. I got second to Anthony Prego, but if the dirt guys go the other way and the other guys go to the Dale race, I don't mind. It's still five.
Yeah. Listen, I see
then that'll turn into the true working man's race right there.
Listen, I see him becoming the next Glenn Donnelly. I mean, he's pretty much damn near there. I mean, the kid, you know, even for us, even, you know, for us nobodies that, you know, that run his shows, you know, when he was in Middletown, dude, he always took care of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dale
the guy
was
was
great.
just, absolutely. You know, he doesn't forget where he came from. You know what I mean? And that's awesome.
With them, they you know, they don't know him. You know, it's easy to knock Friesen for winning every race, but you know what? It's not his fault. Like he'd want to see a guy like me win it just as much as Friesen. But if they think that's not the case, you know, it is what it is. But you know, these guys, the Shepard and Friesen, it definitely helps sell the seats up in the stands.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, of course he's going to enjoy that, you know.
But this is what they do. These guys are racing sometimes 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
They never ever get out of a car. You know, if you're not winning like they are, then I would start to second guess, what am I paying you for?
Yeah.
You know, this is how they make a living.
Yeah.
You know, do they have the best of everything? Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, do I think that there's cheating and favorite? I really don't. I really don't. You know, I just.
The draw is what it is. They draw in front of everybody. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Listen, it's no different than back in the day when it was Brett Hearn and Danny Johnson and all these guys. It's no different. This is just the younger version of those guys, you know?
Anybody that races a car will tell you them guys are the most talented 2 guys in racing.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
if you're getting beat by them, you know what you're getting beat by. And if you ever have the chance to beat them, you know, you're on your money and enjoy it. You know, it's gonna happen.
So my thing is, and I'll put this out there for, you know, whoever's watching right now, any race that you watch either one of those guys in, watch where they are. Watch where they are compared to where everybody else is.
Yeah.
And it's usually not where everybody else is.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are continuously searching.
I got third a couple weeks ago at Accord, and I was rolling one lane. I stayed in the lane, and I moved to a different lane with like a couple laps to go, and I would have won the race if I did it earlier.
Yeah.
As an average driver, you just don't have maybe enough confidence, or you don't read the track or know what to do. Them guys, they don't stay in one lane, and they don't do the same thing every lap. And if they are doing the same thing every lap, it's because they found it and it's working.
Yeah. Right.
Listen, I've always said I'd rather finish 7th while running 2nd because I tried something than finish 2nd and just follow the guy.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So.
Yep.
All right, Danny, I'm old and I still have to go run. So, but dude, it was really a blast talking with you, man. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll definitely talk again before the year's out.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
No worries.
The racetracks in the next couple of weeks, probably.
We'll see you Friday for sure.
See you Friday. That's good.
All right, man.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye.
All right.
Take care. Dude, I think he's one of those guys, man. You could sit and talk for hours and hours.
Oh yeah, no, he's got once the headphones were gone, that kind of worked out real good.
See, smart. It was me. That was my idea.
I'm telling you, that's why you're here, man. That's why I told you today. You know,
I don't know.
Keep you here for your expertise.
Yeah, I don't know. It's retarded. But you know, he's one of those kids, and I have to say kid because I got 10 years on him, so I'm going to say one of those kids. He's one of those kids that I've really admired and loved watching his career because of where he started.
Yeah.
Because he didn't start right out in a modified. You know what I mean? The kid,
he worked his way
paid
up.
his dues. He paid his dues, and I love that. I love that about him. So.
And he's humble. He's humble.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, dude, and usually when I see him, it's at the 31st lap, and I had already been there for maybe about an hour.
Yeah.
Usually me and Tony Gear had been there for about an hour, and Adam's Day!
Yeah.
So, all right, so you said that you had talked to Nate, and what's going on? You got some stuff for him?
Oh, yeah, he wanted me to put out the Unruly Race. So if anybody, he's got some lap sponsors, some farthest distance. He's got a bunch of awards. He's got a Facebook page for the Unruly Race as well. So anybody wants to, go on there and give it a look. And if any businesses, that's looking to help him out, he's got the purse and all that stuff. He's just looking for extra money for the drivers, just to give back to the drivers a little bit. So he just wanted me to put that out there for anybody that's watching or listening. If they're any business, just hit them up.
Yep. So I think I kind of like the idea of what you're doing there as far as the trivia questions go after the fact. I think we're still doing the four tickets to Bethel Motor Speedway, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And we got Bethel, Accord. I'm not sure. I had got a message from Jake from Middletown. He said, anytime we do one, to just let him know, give him a name. So they're on board with all that stuff. But I figured I'd do the trivia after, after the show, because sometimes some people can't watch it. Or they're at work or something, and they can see the you know what I mean? It might get a notification that I posted on there. It just gives everybody a fair shake, you know what I mean?
Yep, definitely. I agree with that 100%. So.
And another thing, if you cannot make the race, if you can't go, don't answer the trivia question.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks because we've had that happen before a couple times, and then the tickets just sit there. So we're trying to give them to guys that want to go to the races. So, if you can make it Friday, Saturday, if you can make it to any of those 3 racetracks, answer the question. If you can't make it, please don't answer the question.
Listen, it definitely come, man. I'm telling you, you guys are missing out, man. Some really good racing. Hey, Nate just posted. If you're interested in being part of the Unruly Race, he's got a link there. Maybe we can. I don't know. However the hell you do that, you shoot him.
Yeah, I could put. Yeah, I could.
Or we'll just make, or if you could just make
if he posted the link in the comments, it'll be right there. So anybody can just go right in the comment section, click on it, and it'll take you to wherever you want to go.
So
it seems like it's going to be a cool event.
Listen, we're in. We're going. We've committed. I got somebody who's sponsoring a trailer for me to get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that.
That thing is pretty messed up. Yours, I saw that at Middletown. I said, boy,
yeah, we were coming home. Christ, man, it was like the beginning of the year. Tony Gearhead's following me, and who was it? The right side, the tire exploded, and when it did, it blew the whole side of the trailer right out.
Oh,
and,
okay.
So I don't trust the damn thing to go any farther than Middletown at quarter Bethel.
Yeah.
So that's why I reached out to you, and you're gonna allow us to use that trailer, and we appreciate it. And dude, yeah. So I'm telling you, man, this guy Nate Stevens, dude, he's a character, dude. I love him. I think he's absolutely great.
Yeah. If you have not met Nate and you meet him, just prepare to talk for his. For a long time, because this guy
awesome. He
goes on. He goes on. He was saying he went to Orange County Saturday, and he got wrapped up talking with all of us there, and he waited to the last minute to go do the promoting.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, yeah, whoops. All right, yeah, I was actually supposed to be up there signing autographs with my dad and stuff. They had nostalgia night up there, and what are you gonna do?
And that was again that race Saturday. That was a cool event. Congrats to Vigiletti for winning that race.
Thanks God, Mike. Yeah,
it was good.
So like I said, man, a lot of respect being shown, and Ray Tarantino, he was the guy that kind of impressed me. He started one spot in front of me and wound up second.
So, he had a heck of a
looked
run.
Like
going.
Ray of old, he really did, man. Ray looked awesome out there. He really did. And then to have his son out there racing with us too in Orange County, that was really cool.
Yeah.
So we stunk the joint up, but
that's all right. Like I said, you get that free pass.
Yeah, man. So
it's all right. And we got a bunch of interviews. I'm sure if you haven't seen them yet, we got a ton of interviews from Saturday, a ton of interviews from Friday.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a big hit. I got a lot of messages. A lot of people appreciate the interviews. It's like just like an added touch to it. And then I get messages for guys saying that it's a Northeast racing show and we only talk about 2-3 racetracks, and so I get that, and we got racetracks, and I'm free on Saturdays, and I like traveling, so traveling's what I'll do. People want to watch, people going to watch, I'll travel around. So this week we'll be at Fonda.
Nice.
Saturday night we'll be at Fonda. We're going to do our thing up there, and we're going to bounce around. Fridays obviously I'm tied up, but Saturdays I'm free, and a lot of racetracks race on Saturday. So as long as I can hit them, I'll hit them, and give people what they want. They want to watch it, we'll do it.
One of these years I'm going to go race Fonda. We call it La Fonda. We're going to go race La Fondas.
It's a cool little play. It's their it's their last week. It's their last points race.
Yeah.
So
this Saturday we are. I think we're heading back up to Bethel Motor Speedway. We're going to go back up there. It's Kyle Welch's. Yeah, it's his dad's memorial race.
So
we're going to do that. And I think we're going to be back there for a couple of weeks. And we do have an announcement coming up in a couple of weeks. I will have a guest driver in my car for the entire night at the Bethel Motor Speedway. And I guarantee you 100% nobody's going to get it. But just keep in mind, this guy he is a racer. He's been a racer. He's raced in the past.
That's it.
Yep.
So you're going to be all right. I didn't know you were going back up there racing.
Yeah, we're going to go up, and like I said, it's I knew Kyle's dad really well, and he was a big part of my uncle's life. And, they all raced together and stuff like that. So like I said, I wasn't retiring, just taking a break, and we're I took 3-4 weeks off, went to Middletown, had a blast out there. We muffed that up pretty good, but we had a good time, and we're gonna, we'll be back up at Bethel on Saturday. Plus, I think it's a racers reunion too. So
I saw that.
So it's gonna be a good time.
I just want to put one more thing out there if anybody's listening or watching. I want to do. I got this whole video editing thing, so I'm looking for somebody that's willing to let me come into like their race shop and do kind of like a documentary. So I'll, we'll do a little interview in the shop and just give a inside of what goes on at the race shop, and then race day, I'll follow you to the racetrack, and just give like a documentary. So if anybody's interested in doing that, hit me up and let me know. It's something I want to do. I want to do, get out to people's shops and just do like a documentary on that driver, and it'd be a cool little thing. You know what I mean? Just get another added thing to the show.
Yeah, see, Tracy just piped in. He said, Tom Dembeck, Joel, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I am going to give a shout-out to Braxton Dembeck.
Yeah.
Third-generation racer. picked up his first win. He was one of the first kids we had on the show. Congratulations, Braxton. Good job. He still owes me an 8x10. And I'm going to get that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that kid's been through some stuff with the broken arm and all that. Still driving with the broken arm.
It's awesome.
To pick a win, that's good.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, we gave him his shout out last week. He was happy.
Did you?
Yeah, he was happy.
Good. All right, cool.
He's a
I'm
good
giving him a
kid.
shout out now.
See? Well, yeah, if he showed up once in a while.
Your mama.
All good, man.
All right, guys.
All right.
That's it for me. Oh, Christ, I'm old.
Yep, and I'll be posting the tribute questions in a little bit. And again,
he said Tom's climbing in my car. Hell no. No, it's not Tom Denbeck. Listen, I'm little. I'm a little guy. So.
We'd have to
folks,
paint it green and put an 18 on it.
Oh my Lanta, we're not. Listen, I think I got enough green on it from Ryan Modiano.
Yeah, and I appreciate that that photo bomb from the interview too. Yeah. He put some asshole green on or orange on it. Yep.
Yeah, I love that kid. Dude, he's such a good kid. So. But
all right,
folks, that's gonna do it for us. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you guys. And listen, man, it's all Gary Predmore, dude. This is his baby, his dream, and dude, it's blowing up, man. You're getting huge, bro. I'm along for the ride.
Well, thank you for along for the ride, even if it is on Mondays. I'll take it.
Yeah, man. Awesome. So,
all right, brother.
We'll see you all next week, and hit anyone but Kyle, he says.
Yeah, there you go.
Kyle Welsh. Yeah, I'm with you. All right, folks. We'll see you all later, man. Thanks
all right, brother. See you Monday.
Listen, support your local racetrack. Don't get on social media and bash them. If you do, you're a douchebag.
That's right. Thursday, Middletown, Orange County, Centennial race.
Yes.
Can't forget that.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm going to George Thorogood and the Destroyers.
Oh, there you go. All right.
All right, later, folks.
Good night.